The chief prosecutor of the International Criminal Court has requested arrest warrants for Israeli and Hamas leadership. Here's what's going on and what it actually means. On Monday, ICC Prosecutor Karim Khan said his office had applied for arrest warrants related to alleged crimes committed during Hamas's horrific October 7th attacks and during Israel's relentless bombardment of Gaza in the months and months since, which a UN expert has said could reasonably be considered genocide. Khan announced that he had applied for arrest warrants for these three Hamas leaders for war crimes and crimes against humanity, including sexual violence, torture, and inhumane acts committed against Israeli hostages. He also announced warrants for the arrest of Israeli Prime Minister Benjamin Netanyahu and Defense Minister Yoav Gallant, who you might remember as the guy who said Israel is fighting human animals and acting accordingly. Khan said his office had reasonable grounds to believe that Netanyahu and Gallant bear criminal responsibility for, quote, war crimes and crimes against humanity, including intentionally using starvation of civilians as a method of warfare, intentionally directing attacks against the civilian population, and the systemic deprivation of objects indispensable to the survival of Palestinian civilians in Gaza. A panel of judges at the ICC now has to consider whether to issue the arrest warrants. If they do end up doing that, as a group of legal experts the ICC prosecutor convened to review the evidence underpinning the request have advised them to do, it would mean the 124 states that are party to the ICC's Rome statutes would be obliged to detain the Israeli and Hamas leaders if given the chance. This would be a very, very big deal, especially for Netanyahu, because Netanyahu regularly travels the world, including to countries that would have to detain him if this warrant is issued. And while the US, Russia, and China haven't signed on to the Rome Statute, Canada, the UK, Australia, and many, many other countries have. The arrest warrant would also put Netanyahu and the four others in the same category as leaders like Putin and Gaddafi. So we'll see what happens, but this could be huge, especially when you consider the ongoing suffering in Gaza due to relentless bombardment and a man-made famine. One expert say can only really be addressed with an immediate and sustained ceasefire. Advice these charges make very hard to ignore. What do you think of all this?